Today is the first step in our extension that we're doing on our home. Today I'm going to be digging a trench and laying some ducting in for the underground electrical cable. At the moment it's attached to the roof of the building. I'll show you that in a second. But the plan next year is to take the entire roof off and as it's a bungalow, and put a second story on out of timber and then build an extension on the back. But this is good, like I said, this is going to be the first of many videos. The rest of them won't be till next year because we're still going through the planning stage, but we want the electric moved regardless, because even if we do a permitted planning development, we're still going to want the electric coming in from the garage where we're going to have like a utility wall. So I'll walk you through to the front of the house so you can have a look and see what we'll be doing, what the bungalow's like and what the plan is. So the plan is to move that electric cable that goes to the soffit there and runs right the way across to the pole. Obviously, as we're taking the roof off to put an upstairs on, that's got to come off. So we decided rather than get it lowered down to the wall, we would pull it underground and pull it into the garage. So that is the cable they've got to move. This is the bungalow that will be taking the roof off to put a second story on, and this is what I've got to dig up today. So I've got to dig the trench and lay the ducting in for the meter to go there. So I've got some moving around to do first, and then I'll basically be digging across this floor in here, putting the ducting in. There'll be a meter by the pole left because UK Power Network want to dig that, because we're not allowed to dig right next to the pole. So they'll do that meter there, and then I'm going to dig the rest across and then try and lay the drive back down to somewhere near what it looked like before. So let's get cracking. We'll empty the garage first and then I'll join up with you in a minute. Okay, right, so I've cleared the garage out. As you can see, it's half the wall cleared now, ready for the box to go on the wall there. I wish it was as quick as it was then in the video. Right, okay, so if I show you to the back garden, this is the ducting that's got to go into the floor. It's got to go in a 500mm deep hole, trench, and you need to kind of leave that sort of bend on it before it comes out the ground. It got delivered wrapped up in a coil, and it was an absolute nightmare trying to straighten this. It's been out here for about a week now under rocks, just trying to get a sort of straight shape that I can put it into the ground. So now I've got to work out where it's going to go in the ground. I've got to account for the meter that UK Power Network are going to dig as well. So when I place it, I've got to be very careful about where I put it. So yeah, so that's the ducting. I've got to have a pull cord through it because I'm going to fill the trench in. So I need to be able to pull the cable back through when it goes in. So yes, it'll be in the ground with a pull cable through it. I'll fill it back in, try and make the drive up, and then UK Power Network can do their bit and connect it. So that is the ducting. So I'm going to lay that down out in the front, and then we're going to see whereabouts it sits. Okay, so I've pulled a line to where the meter box is going to go. So this is the line that I've got to follow when I take up the slabs and dig the trench. We will be relocating the water at some point as well, so I've had to ensure that I've got enough gap down there so the water can go across from where the car is down there and come in and channel in here to the water supply, which is going to be to the new, when the new house is done. It's going to be on that wall there. So obviously I want enough distance where the trench for the electrical cable won't coincide with the water, so that should be ample enough distance. Hopefully the water will be a lot deeper anyway, so now it's just a case of pulling up the slabs and then starting to dig the hole. Wish me luck. Okay, so this is where we're at so far. I've taken out the bricks in a trench following the line, as you can see here. So I've got the last couple more to do, and then I'll be at the garage. I'm going to focus on digging that today, and then I'll concrete break the garage floor and dig the trench in the floor afterwards. But it was a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be actually getting them up. So yeah, I've put a little time lapse on just for the last few bricks. Okay, so now the bricks are up, I'm trying to scrape and save as much of the sand as possible. So I'm trying to scrape it out of the ground, pile it up to one side without trying to take any of the gravel and hardcore underneath. So I've got a decent amount of sand to try and level it back out afterwards. So I'm going to put it on just a little time lapse just for the end of that, and then we'll be on to the next phase of just trying to start saving some of the aggregate underneath and then digging the hole. So once you've dug the trench and put the ducting in, you have to put this electrical tape or sign, if you like to call it, over the top of it. So I need to make sure the trench is wide enough for that all the way along. There's a couple of little bricks I'm going to have to take out, I think, and a bit more sand, but that's pretty much there. So now I can try to start digging a uniform trench that sort of width, get the ducting in and then fill it back in hopefully. But I'm already running out of time. It's taken longer than I thought it was going to. Okay, so I've got most of the aggregate out the trench now, and that's stacked up there. So now I've got to carry on digging, overcome all the bricks and the crap that they've chucked in there, get to the clay, and then the trench has got to be 500mm deep. Well, between 450 to 600mm, so I'm going for 500, and I assume that is below the brick level. So measuring this, at the moment we're about 25, 20, so we've got a long way to go, at least double that, but hopefully now it'll be mainly clay and be a bit easier. So yeah, we'll get cracking with that now. Okay, so we're at the depth of 450 up to finished slab level. It's just started raining, so I'm taking a shelter quick. It got a lot harder than I planned. The ground right towards the end of the drive is just constant brick and rock. I was hoping to get clay all the way across it, but I haven't. So the first 2 foot or so was great. All of it up there was an absolute nightmare. I'm running out of time now, so I'm going to put the ducting in, the deepest bit here. So there's the ducting first, and then 100 ml of soil or whatever's going in there, hardcore, and then you put the electric tape warning on top of that and then fill it back up. So that's what I'm going to start doing now. I'm not going to put it on a time lapse because obviously it's raining, I don't want to wreck the camera, but I'll show you it once I've finished for the day. So there's the ducting. So that goes in first, and you pull your electric cable through that. So that's in there. I've got to obviously dig the hole in there yet. I'm going to try and fill some of this in if I can, from the middle out. But I need to make sure I put my draw cord in first, so I can obviously pull the cable through. So I'll do that now. Okay, so it's the end of the day. It's about 8 o'clock. It took me a hell of a lot longer than I thought it was going to. There's just so much bricks and crap packed into the floor. It just took so long to get it all out. But that is the drive part done. Just got to level off the sand tomorrow and then try and relay it again the best I can. It's not the end of the world because we'll be digging it up at some point anyway. So there's the meter that's left for them to dig when they come next week. With the ducting there ready. I've got some rods that I can feed through there, so I've already tested that, so I can feed the rods through when it's time. And then you've also got the part going into the garage. We'll have to concrete break all that up. So that's it for today, back in tomorrow. Okay, so it's day 2 of digging the underground cable trench. Today we're going to be in the garage, and I've got to dig about 1.5 meters long by the 500mm deep again to get it to where it's going to go in the garage. So that's what I'll be doing today, and then hopefully once that's done I can start laying the paving back down on the front drive as best that I can. So yeah, this is where we're at the moment. Let me just flip you around. Okay, so I've got a concrete break through the concrete floor, and then start digging through the clay afterwards, 500mm deep for that cable trunking to sit across there in a position there where the meter box is going to go, and then I can start to try and level the sand out a little bit and put the paving back in for the drive. I didn't do too bad. Out of everything that was left over, everything I dug out of the ground, that's all that's left that I couldn't quite get compacted and fitted in. So a few bricks, a little bit of the aggregate, and then some sand on the top. So hopefully it will do us for now for a couple of years until we take it up, put the water main in and redo the drive, or put some gravel down, or whatever we're going to do. So I'll put it on a little time lapse. I'm going to start digging that now. Okay, so that's roughly where the trench is going to be for the concrete. So I've broken up the surface concrete so I can start to remove that and bag that up, and then see what floor we've got, what type of ground we've got underneath. I'm assuming it's going to be clay and brick again, like the front of the drive was up there. So we'll soon find out. So yeah, I've got to start clearing this out and then start digging a little bit deeper after that. So I've got the trench dug to the 500mm depth you need to have for the water. Nice tidy, nice neat trench. This was all clay, so it was a dream to dig, unlike the drive, which is an absolute nightmare. I'm gonna dig this another 500mm deep, just so I can kind of kill two birds with one stone and expose the foundations and have it as one of like 4 test holes for the building control and structural engineer to check the foundations to see where we are with that. So I'm going to go a lot deeper. So we're halfway there at the moment. It's nice and easy to dig, and then when the kids are awake from their nap, I can start breaking up that last little bit down there so I can join the 2 trenches together. So that's where we're at the moment. Quite happy with that, it's nice and tidy. So yeah, that's where we're at. Can't really see how deep it is, but that's around 500mm there. You can start to see the foundations there as well. Strip foundations, so that's the brickwork part of it. So yeah, carry on digging. So I don't know if you can see this or not, but probably not because of how dark it is. But that is the top of the slab part of the strip foundation, and then right in the corner there it looks like there's some sort of red pipe. I'm not supposed to have any drainage or anything run through it like this, so I'm not sure whether it's an old soakaway from next doors or what, but it is a little bit soggy down there. So yeah, that is the depth of the foundation. That's obviously the depth of how far we have to go for the electric. If I had to underpin it, obviously I've got to go a lot further than that, so it'll be interesting to see. So I'm going to dig a little bit down the side, just so I can get a measurement of the slab part of the foundation. But there you go, that is the top of the foundation right there.